Being in a state of grace, apart from being free from mortal sin, is a state in which the grace of God has a direct effect on your soul, or that you are more receptive of God's grace and can more easily respond to this grace. Being in a state of grace, there is an established relationship between you and God, and your soul benefits from the plenitude of His graces, even without your knowledge and/or cooperation sometimes. When one is not in a state of grace, this relationship is wounded and will require an act of will on our part to seek God's help by confessing our sins and amending our ways. That way, our relationship with God is restored. But hear me, someone can be in a state of grace, but not in a state of the will of God. But someone can never be in a state of the will of God and not be in a state of grace. A state of the will of God is when one lives obediently to God's specific order and directions for their lives in regards to how they ought to carry out their duties and live out their vocation. Being in this state, one must first respond sincerely to the universal call to holiness by being in the state of grace. And one must strive to maintain being in a state of grace to help discern God's will in their lives. Living according to the will of God is the most beneficial thing one can do to help his or her soul. It is in doing God's will that one finds happiness, fulfillment. Nothing else can suffice. And so strive not just to be in a state of grace, but also in a state of the will of God. This still remains A&A with Samuel, as Samuel echoes. If you are not in a state of grace and you are struggling with any temptations, I recommend you click the video showing on your screen right now to understand the two things the enemy always uses to tempt us out of a state of grace. See you in that video. Thank you.